All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I need you to sit down for this one because what I'm about to show you is going to mess with your head in the best possible way. You remember your buddy's old Beetle from high school? The one that couldn't outrun a shopping cart going downhill? Well, Volkswagen just said, "Hold my beer," and created something that'll make your jaw hit the floor. I'm talking about a Beetle. Yeah, you heard that right, a Beetle. That'll smoke a Mustang GT from 0 to 60. And before you click away thinking I've lost my mind, stick around because this thing costs more than most people's houses, and honestly, it might just be worth every penny. But first, smash that like button if you're ready to have your mind blown, and let's dive into the most insane automotive comeback story of 2026. Look, let's be real for a second. If you're over 35, you've got history with the Beetle. Maybe it was your first car, maybe it was your girlfriend's ride in college, or maybe you just remember when these things were everywhere, chugging along at 55 miles per hour in the slow lane with a flower in the dashboard vase. Those days, they're gone, brother. Dead and buried. The 2026 Volkswagen Beetle isn't your dad's hippie mobile. This isn't some nostalgic cash grab where they slapped some modern headlights on a 1970s design and called it a day. No, sir. This is what happens when German engineering meets Silicon Valley tech with a healthy dose of, screw it, let's go crazy. First thing you notice, the silhouette. It's unmistakably Beetle, that rounded roofline, those curves that made the original an icon. But look closer. Those fender flares aren't just for show. The stance is wider, lower, more aggressive. It's like the Beetle hit the gym for 5 years straight and came back looking like it could bench press a Camaro. Now, about that paint job. You know how your buddy always brags about his custom paint on his Harley? Yeah, this makes that look like a rattle can job from AutoZone. This is what Volkswagen calls a burl scent multi-layer nano paint finish. Sounds fancy, right? Here's what it does, and I'm not making this up, it changes colors depending on the lighting. Not like those cheap color-changing Hot Wheels you had as a kid. I'm talking about a sophisticated, almost liquid-like shift that makes the car look alive. In direct sunlight, it's a deep metallic blue. Move into shade, now it's got purple undertones. Under streetlights at night, it shifts to almost black with hints of green. It's like having 3 different cars in one, and honestly, it's the kind of thing that'll stop traffic at Cars and Coffee. And here's the kicker. This paint option alone costs $8,000. $8 grand for paint. But when you see it in person, you understand why. It's not just a color. It's a statement that says, yeah, I drive a Beetle, and it's cooler than your whatever you're driving. All right, here's where things get bonkers. Remember how the original Beetle had that little air-cooled engine in the back that sounded like an angry lawnmower? Well, that tradition continues, sort of. The engine's still in the back, but now it's not an engine at all. It's 2 electric motors putting out a combined 480 horsepower. In a Beetle, that's more power than a 5.0 Mustang GT, more than a Camaro SS. Hell, that's Corvette territory, and we're talking about a car that used to struggle to merge onto the highway. But here's where it gets really crazy. All-wheel drive, thanks to those dual motors. So not only does this thing have serious power, but it can actually put it down. No more spinning tires and going nowhere. No more getting stuck in your driveway when it snows. 0 to 60? Try 3.8 seconds. Let me repeat that. 3.8 seconds. That's faster than most sports cars you lusted after in high school. Faster than a new Mustang GT. Faster than a lot of Porsches in a freaking Beetle. I know what you're thinking. This has got to be some concept car nonsense that'll never see production. Wrong. This thing is rolling off the production line in Germany right now. Real car, real performance, real mind-bending acceleration that'll pin you to your seat and make you question everything you thought you knew about Volkswagen. Now I know what the practical guys in the audience are thinking. Great, another electric car that'll leave me stranded 100 miles from home. Not this time, fellas. Volkswagen didn't mess around with the battery tech. We're talking about their new solid-state battery system that debuted last year. What does that mean in real-world terms? Over 350 miles of range on a full charge. That's Houston to Dallas, Chicago to St. Louis, LA to Vegas with juice to spare. This isn't some city commuter car that'll have you sweating bullets on a road trip. And the charging? This is where the German engineering really shows. Fast charging gets you from 10% to 80% in 14 minutes. 14 minutes. That's barely enough time to grab a coffee and hit the restroom at a truck stop. Compare that to some other electric cars that take an hour or more for the same charge, and you start to see why Volkswagen is confident enough to slap an $82,000 price tag on this thing. Yeah, I said $82,000. We'll get to that sticker shock in a minute. But trust me, there's a method to their madness. All right, let's talk about the inside because this is where Volkswagen really went off the deep end, in the best possible way. Remember the original Beetle interior? Vinyl seats that would burn your legs in summer? A dashboard that looked like it was designed by someone who'd never seen a car before? And that little flower vase that your girlfriend insisted on keeping filled with daisies? This isn't that, not even close. We're talking hand-stitched Napa leather everywhere. And I mean everywhere. The seats, the dashboard, the door panels, even the steering wheel. But here's the cool part. Those suede inserts you see, they're made from recycled ocean plastic. So you're sitting in luxury while helping clean up the planet. It's like being environmentally conscious and bougie at the same time. These seats aren't just pretty either. They're what Volkswagen calls zero-gravity inspired, with a massage mode that uses air pockets to simulate shiatsu pressure. After a long day at work, you can literally get a massage on your drive home. Your chiropractor is going to hate this car. And check this out. The rear seats fully recline with their own climate zones. Your passengers aren't just along for the ride. They're getting the first-class treatment. It's like having a luxury lounge that happens to have wheels. Now about this roof. It's not just a sunroof. It's electrochromic glass that tints itself automatically based on UV exposure. Too bright outside? The roof darkens itself. Want to see the stars? It clears up on command. But wait, there's more. Starlight mode with customizable constellations. Yeah, you heard that right. You can program your own constellation patterns into the roof. Want the Big Dipper? Done. Want to spell out your kid's name in stars? You got it. It's the kind of feature that sounds ridiculous until you're lying back in those massage seats, looking up at your personal night sky and thinking, this is the coolest thing I've ever owned. Now let's talk tech, because this is where the Beetle goes from cool retro car to spaceship that happens to look like a Beetle. This 16-inch curved OLED touchscreen isn't just big, it's smart, like scary smart. It's powered by Volkswagen's new AI-based infotainment system that learns your habits. It knows how you drive, what music you listen to, even how you like your seats heated before your morning coffee run. Drive to work the same way every day. It'll automatically suggest your route and start navigation. Always listen to classic rock on Friday afternoons. It'll cue up your playlist before you even ask. Like your seats toasty on cold mornings. It'll preheat them based on the weather forecast. But the real sci-fi stuff is the heads-up display. This isn't just your speed and navigation projected on the windshield. This is full augmented reality. Your directions, speed warnings, even nearby vehicles get overlaid directly onto what you're seeing through the windshield. Imagine driving down the highway and seeing a virtual arrow pointing exactly where you need to exit, or getting a warning about the car in your blind spot highlighted right there on the glass. It's like having a video game interface for real life. And the autonomous driving, level 3, which means this thing will handle highway cruising, lane changes, even slow urban traffic without you touching the wheel. Emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, pedestrian prediction. It's all baked in and working 24/7 to keep you safe. This isn't just a car with some tech thrown in. This is a rolling computer that happens to be shaped like a Beetle. Now, if you're an audio guy, and let's be honest, most of us are, you're going to want to sit down for this part. Volkswagen teamed up with Bang & Olufsen to create a 16-speaker, 3D spatial audio system that's acoustically mapped to your exact driving position. What does that mean? It means every song sounds like it was mixed specifically for where you're sitting. Listen to this. That's not just loud, that's precise. Every instrument has its own space in the cabin. The drums are behind you, the guitar is to your left, the vocals are right in front of you. It's like being in the recording studio with the band. And the active noise cancellation? Whether you're cruising down the highway at 80 miles per hour or stuck in stop-and-go traffic in the rain, it's just you and your music in perfect harmony. Road noise, wind noise, tire noise, it all disappears. I've been in $200,000 luxury cars that don't sound this good. This audio system alone would cost you $15,000 to $20,000 if you tried to build it aftermarket. And it comes standard. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The price, the launch edition, they're calling it the Beetle Prestige one, starts at $82,500. $82,500 for a Beetle. I know what you're thinking because I thought the same thing. That's Corvette money. That's loaded F-150 Raptor money. That's I could buy a really nice used Porsche money. And you're right, it is all of those things. But here's what you're really buying for that $82,500. You're buying a piece of automotive history reimagined for the electric age. You're buying technology that most cars won't have for another 5 years. You're buying performance that'll embarrass sports cars costing twice as much. You're buying luxury that rivals the Germans' best sedans. But more than anything, you're buying cool. And cool has always been expensive. Think about it this way. How many guys do you know driving around in $80,000 trucks that they use to haul groceries? How many neighbors have $70,000 SUVs that never see anything more challenging than a Costco parking lot? This question mark. This is $82,500 that'll start conversations everywhere you go. This is the car that'll have people pulling out their phones at gas stations. This is the ride that'll make your buddies question their life choices. So who's this car really for? Let me paint you a picture. You're successful, you've worked hard, made some smart decisions, and you're at a point in life where you can afford to buy something just because you want it, not because you need it. You remember when cars were fun, when they had personality, when driving wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, but about the experience, the feeling, the connection between man and machine. You're tired of boring, tired of blending in, tired of driving the same SUV as every other guy in your neighborhood. This car is for the guy who wants to pull into his driveway and smile every single time. It's for the guy who appreciates the irony of having the fastest car on the block disguised as a friendly, approachable Beetle. It's for the guy who gets the joke that sometimes the most radical thing you can do is drive something that makes people happy just by looking at it, while secretly packing enough performance to dust anything else on the road. Now let's be real about the competition, because at $82,500, you've got options. You could get a loaded Corvette Stingray, you could get a BMW M3, you could get an Audi RS5, hell, you could get a nice used 911. And all of those are fantastic cars. Fast, well-built, prestigious. But here's what none of them can give you: uniqueness. When's the last time you saw a Corvette and thought, wow, that's interesting? When's the last time a BMW started a conversation with a complete stranger? This Beetle will be the only one in your town. Maybe the only one in your state. You'll never have to worry about pulling up to a restaurant and seeing 3 other guys driving the exact same car. Plus, and this is important for us older guys, this car has a story. It has history. It connects you to something bigger than just horsepower and lap times. It connects you to an era when cars had soul. And let's talk about something that might not have mattered to us 20 years ago, but probably matters now: the environmental impact. Look, I'm not going to preach to you about saving the planet. You're grown men. You can make your own decisions. But the reality is, electric is the future, whether we like it or not. So if you're going to go electric, and eventually we all will, why not do it in style? Why not do it in something that makes a statement? This isn't some virtue-signaling eco-box that screams, "Look how responsible I am." This is a performance car that happens to be electric. It's fast because it's electric, not despite being electric. And when your grandkids ask you about the old days when cars burned gasoline, you can tell them you made the transition in the coolest way possible. So here's my final take on the 2026 Volkswagen Beetle Prestige 1. Is it expensive? Absolutely. Is it practical? Surprisingly, yes. Is it necessary? Hell no. But is it cool? Is it fun? Will it make you smile every time you see it in your garage? Will it be the car you're still talking about 20 years from now? Absolutely. Look, we're at an age where we don't have to justify our purchases to anyone. We've earned the right to buy something just because it makes us happy. And if you've got the means, if you appreciate the irony, if you want to own a piece of automotive history that's been completely reimagined for the modern world, then this might just be the perfect car for you. It's not for everyone. It's not supposed to be. It's for the guy who gets it, the guy who appreciates the joke, the guy who wants to drive something that makes people smile. All right, guys, that's the 2026 Volkswagen Beetle Prestige 1. What do you think? Is it genius or is it crazy? Are you ready to drop $82,500 on the world's most expensive Beetle? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into automotive insanity, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell because we've got more wild rides coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, life's too short to drive boring cars. I'll see you in the next one.